If you are interested in starting your own podcast, we use Buzzsprout because it is simple and easy to use. Buzzsprout can get your show listed on every major platform while giving you the resources for a great podcast website, audio players that can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening to your podcast, and tools to promote your episodes. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and that is why over 100,000 podcasters are already subscribed to Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Following the link in our episode descriptions lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. So in return, you will receive a $20 Amazon gift card from Buzzsprout while signing up for a paid plan. Most importantly, every subscription through our link is always appreciated and helps support our show so we can continue delivering the quality content that you guys listen to. That being said, back to the show.
Hello, and welcome to Comic Book Junkies. This is Andrew.
This is Joe.
And this time we're coming at you with a movie review. It's been a while. We already saw Superman once, so what did we do? We got together and we saw it a second time. And now we're here to deliver our thoughts. It's been out a month now, so there may be spoilers if you're really late on the game. But yeah, we're going to discuss it in full.
Yeah, there's going to be spoilers. You should have opened up with that. And also, when's the last time you've seen a movie twice?
Never, actually, I think. It's just not something I do, even on like DVD, but like to go to the theater twice in like 2 weeks.
I will say, I think that the reason we both saw it a second time was not because it was that good, even though it's really good, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
Yeah, there's a lot. And, you know, just being able to give a little refresher, too, since we saw it, like, opening weekend. Or if you're Joe, you saw it, like, even earlier than that. He got that sneak peek. He's that VIP.
Yeah, I went with Juan and Charlie, both been on the pod, and neither of them wanted to go again. That's weird, but...
Could you believe that?
Yeah. Real friends. But Berger was interested in going a second time, and I did think it would be a good idea to do right before the pod, because it has been a minute. And not only that, but like I've gotten so many like outside opinions since I've watched it too. I just kind of had to see it again for myself because I don't know like if my perception of the movie is just like based on other people's comments or like how I really feel about the movie.
Right. You also had like that initial excitement seeing it the first time too, and you know, like did that factor in too much?
Well, also the first time I was watching it, like based off the trailers, I was like expecting it to go a certain way, and anytime it deviated, like you're kind of just like looking for like validation almost. So the second time I could just kind of watch it like as is.
And I will say, just like, I guess it's not based off of that or my expectation or anything, but I felt like it was almost a quicker watch the second time through. I feel like the first time it takes a bit longer to digest, even though a bunch is being like thrown at you. Maybe that's it. But the second time felt like a much quicker movie to me, to be honest, because of the pacing of the story.
I guess we could start from maybe like the beginning of the movie. How did you feel about them just kind of you being like in the middle of something as opposed to it being like a whole like fleshed out intro?
I like that because I feel like a lot of these movies and stuff focus too much on the fleshing out like why we care, I guess, which I mean, we care because we're going to the movie theater. Like we all are familiar with Superman in some capacity. And I mean, even if you're just talking recently, I mean, in like every movie series that he's had, we always have like a very in-depth and slow him becoming him. I kind of like the fact that you open yourself up to a more lived-in universe, knowing that things have already been going on behind the scenes for 3 years that we haven't even seen. And even longer than that, if you go off the like that little info dump at the beginning that kind of sets up things. Was I wrong? Did they say 3 decades or 3 centuries of heroes or something? You know what I mean? It was like,
I saw 3 decades.
Either way, we've had heroes for a while now. I think it was more than that. I think it was, I don't know, because it's of gods and monsters. But I like that they kind of just gave us like a quick up to date, like 3 years ago he started actually doing stuff.
The intro kind of gave Star Wars vibes.
Yeah, but I'm okay. Yeah, it just kind of put you right in the story, and I like that.
I liked it because it felt like the most comic book movie I've ever seen because of that.
I agree. It felt like any random issue, you know, like down to just having like a villain of the week type thing thrown in with the kaiju, and then like the ultimate machinations are because of Lex Luthor.
I don't know if it would work if it wasn't Superman or Batman, though.
No, because it's not even like a full-on Superman movie because of how many other people take place in it, I guess. Like, it's a Superman movie, but it's also kind of like a this is the new DC kind of movie.
No, great point, because you could argue, like when I watched it the first time too, my wife went with us as well. Mr. Terrific was kind of the hero of the movie. Like Superman isn't even like the biggest hero of his own movie.
That's kind of what I'm getting. I mean, he's still definitely the one solving things, and we're looking through like more so his frame of reference and stuff. But there's so many other players. It's just kind of, I feel like it's giving you a tone for, you know, what we can expect, because it does play very comic booky. I mean, one, the characterization, but like even just I mean, the fortress. I mean, everything just looks like a comic book.
The fortress was gorgeous, by the way. I like how that was kind of like a focal point of the movie.
Yeah, they went there a lot.
And what's interesting is this also had a different variation of how to get into the fortress. It was based off of his DNA. It's been a gold key in comics.
Yeah.
I think in Smallville, it was like a part of the spaceship or something like that.
I think that was was it 251? Yeah.
Something like that. So it's been a lot of different variations of entering the fortress, but I thought the robots were kind of a fun touch. I think that's kind of where James Gunn was able to be himself, and I usually don't want like a lot of him in there. I think he's capable for the job for sure because of his passion for comics, but I was glad that it wasn't like a typical James Gunn movie, but it had just a little bit of that flavor, you know, and he did it in the appropriate spots. It wasn't just like all over the movie.
And I think it needed some because it's just camp. I mean, you know, it's a little cheesy, but like that's kind of what, like, in my opinion, the good rendition of these characters is, you know, providing hope. It's not always dark and dreary. The Superman actually focuses on saving people. Anytime he punched a hero or like a villain or anything that he was beefing with, he was also quick to make sure to get behind them to minimize damage. I mean, he literally saved a squirrel of all creatures. Like, he cares about everything and everyone. And I like that this Superman is like that.
Yes, there was a huge attention to detail to like life, like whether it was like artificial life, like when his robot was destroyed, like
Yeah.
he was like
Pour one out.
yeah, and then also he saved not only a squirrel but a dog, and then he didn't want that kaiju to die, and then
Yeah.
also when he first got out of that like a stupid like what did they call it, like a
Pocket dimension?
pocket dimension,
Yeah.
he wanted to go right back in to save all the other people.
Yeah.
So that was pretty prevalent, and also he's a lot weaker in this rendition than he is in typical superhero comic books, I think. And I guess what I read was that it was intentional so that like people that could shoot bow and arrows were still relevant in a universe like this.
Which I guess makes sense. But even so, they say that like this was the first time he's ever lost. Like, I mean, he could go in the anti-proton river or whatever, and he can come out of it alive. Like, people can't do that. So they're still showing that like he's tough as shit. Like, even when Guy Gardner kind of steps to him when the truth comes out that his family's evil. Oh yeah, quick side note before we leave it behind. Fortress of Solitude first app is Action Comics 241, to be corrected, not 251, 241. But yeah, he's just invulnerable, but like there are still stakes. Like, he does take a beating in it, but I remember looking over like in that one fight, I'm kind of jumping around at this point just because there's so much in this movie we could talk about, to be honest. But I like how Superman was slamming the shit out of the engineer at that football field. That was hilarious because she like grappled onto his arm with like the nanites, and he's just spinning around, slamming her in the dirt, and then hits her into Ultraman.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was so like interested in why he was like going all the way up to the sun. I thought it was so he could get powers, but the second time around, it sounded like it was just because he would be the only one protected when they fall.
Yeah, at first I was like, what's he doing too? I thought like the first time that like if he ran out of breath and died up there, like the sun might rejuvenate him somehow. That's kind of what I thought. But yeah, then once he slams to the earth, he would be the only one protected. But yeah, I don't know. It was cool. I do like that Crypto actually helped out more, which by the way, the dog is a big part of this movie, and the dog is, I think the dog's sweet. I know a lot of people have issues with the depiction.
It's not your typical Crypto physically because it's a much smaller dog, but knowing that it's Supergirl's, I like that it's a smaller dog.
Yeah.
And then I also love his relationship with the dog. Like, he's like, no, it's a foster dog, but he's just a bad dog, but I know he's still scared and alone, so I gotta protect him.
Yeah, Yeah, like he rides for the dog, even though the dog does kind of suck behaviorally.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, a lot of people, unless you have a really well trained dog, you can kind of see like parts of your dog in that dog.
This morning, bro. So we had 1 o'clock tickets almost secured basically to go watch the movie for the second time. And then right as Burger pulls into my driveway, my dog runs right out the gate, which he never does, and all the way down like the neighbor's road. And then it was like my wife, him, and myself, and I'm in a bathrobe. I'm like
Yeah, Hugh
naked.
Hefner style.
Yeah, just fresh out the shower,
Shaking
running
trees.
down the road, trying to find my dog. So pulled a real crypto on us before the movie, which is fitting but unfortunate.
Yeah, but luckily we found him. He came back. Everything was straight. And then we were able to make it to the movie, but we chose a later showtime, but it worked out.
Yeah, it was still cool. But yeah, let's talk about some of like the supporting characters.
Jimmy Olsen rules.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Jimmy. I think like him being a chick magnet was funny for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was
He's kind of the MVP, like,
true to the character, but like naturally.
yeah. I'd always said, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I always thought he was going to be a great fit just when I found out the casting, because I liked him in Righteous Gemstones, where he nailed a similar kind of character type there. So I was like, I know he'd be the perfect fit. So I was really pleased with him. I liked the Perry White. Perry White was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked how, what's that other person in the Daily Planet? She was hugging on him in that little airplane that Mr. Terrific had.
Cat Grant?
Yeah. So, and he was just smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Holding on to her. Boss moves.
Yeah, his boss moves.
Yeah.
I like that Lombard.
Lois is hooking up with Superman and just doesn't even say nothing other than how long have they been doing that.
Right? He don't care. He's a cool dude. And then, yeah, Lombard's a doofus. I like that. Just giving Clark shit, asking if what kind of roadkill Ma grilled up recently.
Yeah, that was a good quip.
Yeah, dude, he got his ass.
What do you think of the Kents?
Not my favorite depiction, but like they're all right.
I think it's fitting, but also not my favorite flavor. I think the message got across because that whole like we gave you the tools to make your own mistakes speech was like at the heart of what his parents are supposed to provide for him. But in the same breath, Pa Kent is a little more
He seems like more helpless or something. Like they kind of sit
he
there like
seems a little more unhealthy than Pa Kent.
I guess. I don't know. They just seem like dawdling grandparent types instead of like parental, I guess. You know, like he's just sitting around the phone like, don't be a stranger. It's just like, I don't know. There's something about it. Like, and then I don't understand the accent for Ma, but whatever.
Yeah, but I do like that they were in constant communication because Clark was always looking at his phone and getting missed calls from his parents. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that the speech that he had with his dad was the best, but the rest was just like, all right. Like they're fine parents, but you know, I don't know. I feel like I've seen so many other depictions. I mean, like I like to think about primarily Smallville, which may be like a cheat, but like also I just think of like Silver Age, like Ma and Pa Kent. Like you've seen like the covers and like you read the stories. Joe's got the action figure. It's just like I kind of think like more of like a just like an old guy or something, you know, not like a, reminds me more of like a hog farmer, no disrespect or anything, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what the Kents are exporting, but like I don't know, they were fine. Like there's been better, I'm sure there's been worse. I don't know.
Sure.
It didn't affect the movie for me at all. Like that's one thing I'll say about this movie is while there are things that we could say we dislike or would prefer slightly other things, I don't think there's anything that I watch in this movie that like takes me out of enjoying it. Like there's nothing jarring that I feel like slows the momentum that the movie kind of goes on.
No, it's always exciting because like they do something, it's resolved in 5 minutes, and then they do something else, it's resolved in 5 minutes, and they do something else. But I'm glad that they didn't start with an intro, but I do wish that they would have spent a little more time with certain things. Like
Clark Kent.
I wish I would have saw a little more Clark Kent in it. It was mostly Superman, little bit of Clark Kent. I wish I would have saw a little bit more Smallville too while they were there. I think that would have been kind of cool. I don't know if it's just because I'm a Smallville fan, but
Brief trip.
yeah, I would have liked a little more like character development that way. What did you think of the Justice Gang?
Justice Gang's cool. I like 2/3 of the members for sure. I'm not saying that Hawk Girl's bad, but she's by far my least favorite. Yeah, for sure, actually. But
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he's not officially dead, but like you're telling me she got away with murder?
She got to murder like a president of another country that we're allies with, apparently.
Yeah, so I mean they didn't show him dead, but I mean there's no way he survived that, right?
And she screeched a lot, which I still think about that because I feel like she didn't need to. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And her attitude and kind of her dialogue felt like it was kind of more flat in terms of charisma compared to Mr. Terrific
And Guy.
and Guy. I feel like they kind of both owned their roles as where she was trying to play a character. I feel like they felt like pretty authentic.
It would have been better if she was more like Hawkgirl in the animated Justice League.
I agree, but what can you do?
Same thing with the engineer. Like I think that was pretty misplaced. I understand that Lex would like make somebody
Yeah.
forego their humanity to become like some like cyborg type thing, but in the same breath, like there's other characters you could use, and then also the acting for that performance wasn't the best.
Yeah, I don't really like any of the Wildstorm stuff being mixed in with the DC. I feel like they just need to cut that out. I know they want to do, what is it, like The Authority or something as a movie. Just skip it, dude. You're gonna kill momentum releasing shit like that, because even comic fans don't care about that.
Yeah, and it's like you already got the Creature Commandos. Like that's pretty niche. You've made that pretty good actually. So we don't need everything offbeat.
Make The Authority like an animated show. Don't make it live action. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna go ahead and do that, that's not a proven enough thing. You can't turn that into the Guardians. It's just forget about it. But I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like the engineer myself. I felt like she was pretty pointless. I mean, she was able to get the transmission of like Superman's parents actually saying, yeah, he should be evil. What do you think about that? Because Smallville, they kind of flirted with that, but ultimately they're like, no, we want you to be good for humanity. But like in this one, they kind of pull that swerve there, and it's like, no, actually, Bradley Cooper wants you to be mean to people.
Well, in Smallville, I think that he had a pretty rough relationship with Jor-El at the beginning, as far as like kind of a similar role, right? Like you're more powerful than the people on this planet vibe, and that's kind of where General Zod comes in. It's just like you should take ownership of that. So that was actually one of the things my wife struggled with the movie. It was just like the second half of that message was like polar opposite of the first, so it almost felt as if it was doctored, and like Mr. Terrific gave it like the go, like, yeah, no, that's legit. But at the same time, I guess it never really like felt legit.
It's because they never really proved it. They just had 3 different people say, there's no way that could be fake. It has to be true. It's like, okay, so what linguists and computer scientists know fluent Kryptonian? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So Superman came here. Did he give all them a lesson? How else are they going to study Kryptonian? But regardless, I like how
Yeah,
they just...
Clark couldn't figure it out, even though he's one of the smartest people ever.
Yeah.
But 28 other people or whatever could figure it out like instantly.
Yeah, just some Randalls. But whatever. There's things, but like nothing that's like, oh man, like what? Like when you're in the theater, I think because like it keeps it pushing the whole time.
Yeah, so watching it the second time too, I also struggled with like why would like Lex want to own some kind of like unimportant land? But they do explain it very quickly, and I caught it the second round. He's trying to make some kind of like tech utopia, but if that fails, they got enough oil there where he would profit off of it regardless.
But he said his main reason was just to have an excuse to kill Superman.
Right, which this is my biggest flaw with the movie because of that line specifically. He actually captures Superman for a little bit, and one of the coolest scenes is when Lex Luthor brings some guy that basically said hi to him in front of him.
Give him falafel.
Yeah, and does Russian roulette and blows his brains out on the second shot. But why not just kill Superman there? They say it's so that the US government could like ask him some questions, but like do you think that Lex cares more about the US government questioning him than he does just getting rid of him?
Maybe he just doesn't want to go to prison over it until he can kind of finagle them more to be like, no, we need to do it.
You don't think Lex could figure out a way to get out of that with his like lawyers and power and stuff like that?
It would be, I feel like it's got to be tough though when you're going against directly the government.
I don't know, but I feel like that was like a prime opportunity for Lex.
Well, they never just go straight for the kill. They always gotta talk shit.
Yeah, it's comic accurate.
Yeah, I do like how ruthless Lex was, though, in the fact that he did that, and then he was like, oh, okay, that was fast.
So the first time I actually had to pee right when he got out of that pocket universe, and I missed the part where Lex kept pushing pencils on the ground and
Oh,
telling
did you?
people to pick it up. That was so funny.
He was
I
slamming
even
shit.
laughed in the theater. I was like, this guy's a savage.
Just throwing shit at people.
It's those small moments that were kind of like the best parts of the movie, though.
Yeah, and I feel like the main cast, like the main three, did a lot of the carrying of the movie, though. I feel like they all did really well. Because we haven't talked much about Lois, and while I'm not certain if she's my favorite Lois, she's definitely better than Amy Adams. But she also is like, I like that she's a go-getter, and that like when she went into like journalist mode, she was doing like ethical journalism with Clark slash Superman, even though like they have a personal relationship. And I like that she was in the shits too to go save him when shit went wrong, because that's what Lois does.
Absolutely. She was saying the right things and she really looked the part, but for some reason, I also hesitate to call her my favorite Lois. I think my favorite is gonna still be the Smallville version. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's just because you get much more time with the character.
Maybe.
But yeah, there was something about her that was go-getter, but she didn't match the flame.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that. Like, she was good and, you know, better than most, but there was something that, like, you just don't connect with, I guess.
Yeah, I love the actress. I like the energy that she brought to the character, but there was just something that wasn't as dynamic as I think the performance from Superman and Lex.
Maybe if we get a second movie, she'll be maybe have more time to shine, especially
Yeah.
now that we are familiar with her. But in the one film, I think it was harder to kind of get in that headspace for her as opposed to the other.
It was promising, though, for sure.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think they've made a bad choice at all. I think, like, you know, if this gets to keep going, then I think things can be just fine.
Yeah, and I think that when she really shined were her scenes with Clark. I think the two were dynamic together.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think she kind of helped with Superman's performance too. But let's go into Lex real quick. I'm going to say it now. I think it's my favorite live action Lex Luthor. I think even over
Rosenbaum?
Gene Hackman.
Oh.
No, Michael Rosenbaum's my favorite, but like I'm talking movies.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I probably agree with you there, too.
Yeah.
I like the way that he pulled it off. I feel just like this whole movie in general, just because we do like Smallville so much, not that that should skew anything, but I do feel that like they definitely both took inspiration, both Superman and Lex, from the Smallville iterations. I feel like you could tell in the way that they delivered lines and like even like the face acting, because you remember like all those scenes with like Tom Welling where he'll just look and be like, and then just shift in camera. And I feel like I watched David Cornsweet do that as Clark when, like, even in that scene where the imps fighting in the background and they're talking over Coco, you could just see the way, like, when they have a silent moment, the way he'd look and he'd do kind of like the Tom Welling before they went into it. And I kind of liked that.
That was my favorite part of the whole entire movie. Not only was it comedic, like, no, the Justice Gang has that, but I don't know. Like, I think the dialogue was best there. Like, that's that part where he says, like, something about, like, being wholesome is the new punk rock.
Being kind is punk rock.
Yeah.
And trusting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that I think that was the peak of the movie for me.
I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am. But yeah, no, for real. I did like that scene a lot because that's also when he drops the line about Crypto. He's like, well, I'm going to go turn myself in. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, the dog, he's not even a good dog, but he's alone and he's probably scared. And it's just like, it just shows you that this is a Superman with his head and his heart in the right place, that he would go turn himself over just so like he can make sure the dog's cool.
Now, I don't like when Rick Flag was basically telling him he didn't have rights when he surrendered himself, because that's where all these like people calling it a woke movie are like losing their freaking marbles. But like, Marvel's woke, bro. Like, I get that like this is like pretty similar to like current events, but I don't think it was a commentary on that stuff. I just think that they were trying to put you in a place where it kind of felt like metahumans can exist in the same world that we live in currently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get any of the outrage about this movie. I don't think it's any more woke than anything else that's come out. In fact, I'd argue less so. Just because it looks like the optics, I don't think it's well, maybe it's intentional to some degree, but like, you know, it's basically Russia invading Palestine, the whole movie in the background, but that's like a background portion. It wasn't the main thing of the movie. It's ultimately a Lex Luthor versus Superman thing. I don't know. I just don't think the politicization of this movie is really that warranted. I don't think it was like overt in your face statements or anything. You know what I mean? Anything that would make you be like, hey, they're trying to change my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a fine movie. I don't know. I'd like for there to be another one. I mean, we're supposed to get Supergirl next. Like we said, there were spoilers. So, that should be next year. Hopefully I think they said they want to do like 2 movies, 2 animated shows, and like something else per year.
I like that they made Supergirl a little fiery too. It kind of reminds me of the animated series.
It's based off the Tom King stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, where she's getting hammered on because she's had a hard time.
Yeah.
I mean, she got to actually see Krypton blow up. So she's got that trauma and all the other people who die and this, that, and the other.
Sure. But let's talk about Superman.
Yeah, I really like him.
Where does he rank for you?
Well, it's a toss-up between him and Reeve. I feel like Reeve deserves the respect, and he is like the iconic, but I feel like this guy's very promising. I feel like we obviously would need to judge. I'll put him right now tentatively at 2, just because it's hard to kick Reeve off the pedestal, and also we only got the one film. If we can get more out of him and it's consistent, but I love how they treated the character. I feel like he has all the qualities of Superman that you would come to expect. I love that he's got the trunks on the outside and that he has trunks at all. He's just hopeful, and he's always trying his best. When he's getting interviewed, he's ultimately about saving lives. Like, it's a Superman who knows what his mission is. He has all the powers that you'd expect. We watched him use the super breath to blow the dog away from under the kaiju's foot. He's got heat vision. They talk about his microscopic vision as well. X-ray, everything. Like, I don't know. He's got everything that you need, but I do like that he's vulnerable. But I don't know. I feel like this guy is the character, kind of. Like, it's kind of nice not having like a really established star take on the character where you kind of just see them.
Like Pedro Pascal.
Exactly. Like, this isn't someone, like, this is a fresh face that I could associate with the character, and I feel like he has the look, and I feel like he has the temperament and kind of like the thoughtfulness about it. Like, I feel like he took his shit serious to do this role. I mean, it's a huge opportunity for him, so why wouldn't he? But I feel like he treats it with a certain respect, and I mean, he's kind of in like the Superman club now, so I feel like he's gonna be sweet. I like him better than Brandon Routh for sure, actually. And then he's better than Henry Cavill. I mean, you can disagree with me all you want, but I ain't listening to it. Henry Cavill was good. I think he could have done better had he been in a better situation. But like, this guy feels it. It's a hopeful thing. It's kind of like a positive thing. When he embraces Lois, it looks normal. Like when Henry Cavill did it looks like he was going to take her to the cops. And I feel like he didn't even save people the same way the new Superman does. I'm pretty sure like in that scene where they bomb like the Capitol or whatever, he just stands in the flames and doesn't try to save anybody. Our Superman saved a squirrel. So you know what I mean? Our new Superman, not our Superman. But I think he's kind of like the way to go. Fits everything that it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's kind of a cop-out for me, but I think it's 1A, 1B. I think that this guy didn't break the mold the same way Christopher Reeve did, but in the same breath, it's literally like perfect. Like, I don't even have anything bad to say about his performance. Like, it's exactly what you want from the character. It's very Silver Agey. It was very thoughtful, and I thought it was very hopeful too. I think he really got the message across. And then Lex makes an equally dynamic villain counterpart to him. Like when he called him an alien at the end of the movie, that
Piece of shit alien.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
They're taking our jobs.
So I don't know. I thought the movie through and through was pretty dang good.
With that, you want to just give them like a final grade? Obviously, you guys know that we like it.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Objectively, if you said it was an 8, I'm cool with that as well, because there are some like unclear motives in there and like some things that I could have went without. Like the Ultraman stuff was a little messy, I think, for me, and it was still a blockbuster and it was still a James Gunn movie. I could give people all that, but I'm gonna go 9 out of 10 just because they nailed the important stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. I'm going 8.5. I am of the belief that it wouldn't be less than a 7 to the standard person, in my opinion, because it's like a good blockbuster popcorn movie. It's fast and grabs your attention. It's got the right tones. It's got everything. It's got humor. It doesn't overdo it, but it comes close at times, but it's not enough to make you be like, to actually like groan or be like, come on. But I feel like also if it didn't have some of those moments sprinkled in, it would be kind of out of place and a little bit too serious, which I feel like I'm trying to avoid in these movies. But I don't want it to be just like a comedy movie either.
I just wish there was more moments like when Lois gets home and he's making the breakfast for dinner, and like the dialogue that they have before he turns himself in. Moments like that, I think, made the movie special. And I think with a little bit more of that, I think it would have been like a really almost a perfect movie for me, but still super enjoyable and a great start to the DC movies.
Facts. And in terms of like comic book movies, period, that we've seen, if you had to grade it against the scale, it might be, I mean, I'd have to probably think a little bit more deeply on it, but it's up there. It's the most comic book movie I've ever seen.
I'd probably put it up there with like at the top of the Marvel movies for sure. I think the only thing that would probably be above it would be like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's got me hopeful for the future. I'm hoping that we get a decent amount of this. I mean, I like Peacemaker. That's coming out soon. It seems like Rick Flag's going to be in that. So I'm interested to see how that goes. He had a cameo in this movie too. Sick. I mean, I'm a fan. More John Cena, the better.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. He says he makes people feel bad for killing people just because he's not as edgy. He says he comes in making proclamations, making us look like jerks.
Yeah. And I liked how much it borrowed from not only All-Star Superman, but from Smallville and from the Donner films. It was like a nice homage to all three of them while it being its own thing as well. I think with a little more character development, it would have been really awesome. And then just some plot things too. Like, I didn't really care for the war. Like, I knew it gave Lex an excuse to kind of put him out. But there's some small things, but overall, like, really, really good and worth watching.
Yeah, and it seems like now they're talking about trying to kind of fast lane without going too fast, I guess, but they want to end up doing a Justice League film and they want to introduce the other core characters. I heard that they might be trying to move up Wonder Woman most recently. So that'd be interesting if we get a new Wonder Woman already. And then they need to figure out what they're doing with Batman because they've got the Matt Reeves stuff with Pattinson, but like they keep pushing that back. The hype's going to be down. You need to introduce your own main continuity one now.
Yeah, they got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, if you get Batman in, I mean, Batman always does well, and we've gotten a lot of Batman, but...
it sounds like we're getting Clayface before Batman, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting all kinds of different projects, it seems.
Yeah, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch. I'm more optimistic with this stuff now than I am the Marvel stuff at this point.
Yeah, I would say if the universe is more movies like this, I think it's going to be even better than the MCU.
God willing.
Because it has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And there's just so much you could do with DC. And I like that they're pulling deep from the DC lore.
Yeah, I even noticed a lot of Superman animated series vibes.
Yeah. They took like all the best inspiration and were like, that's what we're going to base it off of. Yeah. And I feel like they did it well while also being able to do their own thing.
Yeah.
All in all, great film. You know, if you're not new here, we've been pumped about this for a while. We actually look forward to this movie and didn't disappoint even upon second viewing within like 2 weeks. So I think it holds up. If you haven't seen it yet by the time you hear this, recommend it. Also, I don't know how you listened through this and now need to go see it, but yeah, let us know if you agree or disagree. It seems like a lot of people are pretty positive about this movie, but I've definitely seen its detractors. It seems like they're kind of cultish and don't like anything James Gunn does.
I think they dislike James Gunn more than they dislike the movie itself.
They dislike Gunn more than they like Snyder. Or maybe they like Snyder more than anything on earth. So I don't know. But either way,
crazy.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah. There's some meh moments, but overall, like, I mean, not enough to bring the movie down as a whole.
No, it keeps it pushing the whole time too. Even if something falls flat, it don't drag on too long.
Yeah, and I love Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner, and they did a really good job making a universe out of the first movie.
Facts.
Well,
say hey, Joe. That it for us?
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of which, I learned that Superman's middle name is Joseph.
Oh, wow.
Recently.
Wow, it's like your cousins.
Kind of related.
Very cool. Oh, by the way, I was just thinking about milk and vitamins as we said that because Superman's wholesome. I like that they show that Guy Gardner was at the diner drinking a glass of milk with dinner. That was hilarious. You know he's on milk and vitamins. That's why he acts the way he does.
Right.
But very cool. But yeah, that aside, that's our review. Whether you like it or don't, we're pretty high up on it. It's like a 8.75 cumulatively from us.
I'd even put it above the Batman movie that came out with
Pattinson?
yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think I'm very optimistic for it. But if you want to keep up with us, CBJ Pod on Instagram, CBJ Podcast on Facebook, Comic Book Junkies on YouTube. You have seen our logo by seeing or listening to us. Look for that anywhere else. That's where we are. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell someone at the comic shop. I don't know, yap about it. But we appreciate you for listening, and we'll catch you again next time.
Thank you guys for listening.